last 4, maybe where some of the inconsistencies are and what's going on?
Yeah, I think some of his confidence. We watched him pretty carefully in the conference tournament against Cal, and just there wasn't the conviction that he's had most of the year. And I think Kevin and John will look at some video, and Kevin will get him to get back to where he was. And his arm's good. Obviously, the velocity was fine. Just has to execute pitches better.
Do you have 30 on the roster for?
No, I think 27. 27.
Okay, so you have to make decisions when it comes to those availabilities of potentially injured guys.
Yeah.
When do you have to have it set by?
Yeah, I believe by Thursday.
Do you think Corona will be able to?
Corona will be on it. Corona will be on whether he can go play the field and hit. He's just too much of a difference maker on the bases. I think he's going to be able to play.
What did you like about just some of the outfield plays you did make? I mean, Blackfoot made a great play in the one game to save a few runs. Brandon's catching.
Yeah. Well, I just thought that whether it's infield or outfield, the effort that the guys played with was great. I felt like, that one game we weren't playing very well. Obviously, Cal beat us, but Brandon Rogers made 2 of the best plays I've seen all year, and that just shows me they're not quitting in tough situations and they're battling. I've been happy with the defense all year, whether it's outfield or infield or catching. So.
Chip, did you play in a host situation when you were in Arizona?
We never hosted. No, we went to Fresno State, Austin, Texas, and ASU.
So what kind of advantages is it to have this here other than the crowd, and just what kind of advantages that give you?
Well, we're just used to it. We can sleep in our own beds. We get to, use our weight room. We get to do things that we're used to doing at home. I think, obviously, hopefully, the weather will help a little bit too.
GCU has played here. West Virginia played here
Yeah.
last year. I don't think Dallas Baptist had.
Right.
The dimensions, the way you have to play in the outfield, balls dropping in front of it. How much of an advantage is that? Just knowing how the park plays.
Well, I think, like you said, GCU is very used to our ballpark. They played here 3 times in the last year. All these guys have been here for a while, so that's probably not going to be much of an advantage with DBU. And like you said, West Virginia's been here, so I don't think it'll be as much of an advantage as it could be with 3 other teams that had never been here.
You might not face them, but you might West Virginia with J.J. Weatherford,
Right.
who kind of had his coming out party here
Yeah.
last year, burst on the national scene. What kind of player is he?
No, he's great. I mean, we had Brazana here, and Weatherholt will be in that mix for the top pick or the top 10 picks. So it's always great to have great ball players come into your place and your fans get to see them. And I think it's exciting and it's a challenge for our pitchers.
Do you guys feel like you're a different team than the team that faced Dallas Baptist earlier this year?
Oh yeah, for sure.
In what ways?
For sure, we just grown a lot. We've figured out our lineup a little more. We've had a lot more guys contribute, and we've got our bullpen sort of set. So they're a very good team. Obviously, winning their league, and we know their coaches really well. So it's fun to have them here in Tucson, and hopefully we get to play them.
You were hopeful of getting a top 16 seed after winning the tournament, combined with the regular season. It made sense, but some of the metrics did not
Right.
suggest that would happen. Were you at all surprised that the committee decided to give it to you guys?
I'm a little bit surprised, but I think it makes sense. And sometimes, that like you said, the metrics maybe didn't make sense. But when you look at it, conference champion, conference tournament champion of a power conference, I think, they just made sense of that. So I think I'm not as surprised maybe as most people were because of what we've done and what, our body work.
Considering the projections for this team coming into it,
Right.
What you've accomplished to this point, is this already considered a successful season, or does it need more results from this point?
No, we need to keep winning. We talked about it when we started the conference tournament. We're in the playoffs. We're here to win. When it's all said and done and the season's over, we'll look back at certain things. But as we stand right now, we need to keep winning.
Yeah. Beginning of the season schedule was pretty hellacious.
Yeah.
You ended up with the number 1 ranked non-conference strength of schedule in the country.
Right.
What benefits did that
Well,
have?
it was huge. I mean, we went out to USD and played a really good team and sort of, got punched in the face and understood, hey, we need to get better, and then went out to Frisco, and it was the same deal. And even Northeastern to start the year was a good team, and we won 2 out of 3. That's just the way it is. I will always try to schedule the best preseason to get these guys ready, and that's part of the college experience. We're trying to give these guys the best experience. We're not going to just not play. We're not just going to go out and play teams that we know we can beat. We want to challenge ourselves, and because our goal is to be the best team we can in the conference.
Obviously, winning both the Pac-12 regular season and tournament, but do you think that scheduling was the ultimate maybe deciding factor in you guys getting this regional?
It probably was, yes.
Have you ever been on a team that has had this many walk-offs?
I think most teams that get to the point of get into a playoff situation, whether it was the minor leagues managing or being on with the Washington Nationals in the World Series in 2019, you have a bunch of those type of things because that's when you start to go, wait a minute, things might be special with this group. And like I said earlier, that they just have confidence that whether they're down 2, 3, 4, 5 runs in the ninth inning, they can come back. Now, does it always happen? No, but it's always nice to see on the bench there's never any panic.
With the first game against GCU, I mean, obviously they came in here and they won a pretty good game about a month ago. What makes them such a tough team? What do you anticipate out of them?
Well, they're veteran. They're super veteran. They've been through it. Nothing sort of phases them. This will be different. We'll face their supposed Friday night starter. We'll have our best pitcher going against them. So it will be a little bit different. But they put good bats together. They put the ball in play with 2 strikes. And as we know, with our weather and our field, and there's a lot of hits to be had in this field. So when you put the ball in play, you have a chance.
Have you gotten to know Nathan Bannister much as an alum of this program?
Oh, yeah. We see each other on the recruiting trail, and he's a great Wildcat, and he's done a great job with our pitching staff.
Now that the bracket's out, any glaring surprises that you feel good?
Yeah, just disappointed that Cal Berkeley didn't make it. I thought that they deserved it. They had a great finish to the year. They, obviously were 1 game away from playing us again in the finals, and even USC. I thought USC was as hot as anybody at the end, and I still say this, that ASU is probably a team that everybody's happy is not in it because they were dangerous coming down the stretch. And so those 3 teams, from a great conference like us, I think they all deserve to be in there.
All right, that is the head coach of your Arizona Wildcats, Chip Hale, talking about his team getting into the NCAA tournament, hosting. I asked there towards the end about his relationship with Nathan Bannister. Nathan, a pitching coach for the Grand Canyon Antelopes. He was a member of that 2016 Arizona Wildcats team that went to the World Series and came up 1 win short of winning a 2nd national title in this century. 1 win short, if you remember. They took game 1 of that best-of-3 series from Coastal Carolina, but Coastal Carolina came back and won the last 2 games to steal the World Series.
I was here in this chair that I'm sitting in right now.
I'm sure you were.
I was just reading about the Alabama Birmingham Southern College. Did you read about that this week?
No.
Okay, so this is a Division III school, and apparently this past week they were in the Super Regionals for Division III. The whole team came down with food poisoning. Multiple players in the hospital. They had IVs behind the dugout. They won. So they're on to the next round. They play on Friday. Big GoFundMe because the school's low on funds, like many other schools across the nation. The kicker here, DK, is Friday is the last day that campus will ever be open. They're closing their doors due to financial issues. They've been open since 1856.
This is Birmingham Southern?
Birmingham Southern is the name of the school, yes. And they're closing their doors for good on Friday, the same day that their baseball team will be taking the field.
Wow.
So the baseball team may be playing past the days that the campus shutters its doors.
Right. So they still going to let them come back and practice if they need to?
I hope they don't, just lock up. That would be bad. That would be a bad look.
Well, maybe they'll give the keys to the baseball team and say, lock up on your way out. That would be a good thing for that. All right, it is DK on the Sports Tip. Much more straight ahead. We'll dive into what happened with Arizona softball. Arizona golf season came to an end. Things started well at La Costa and just kind of went downhill from there. But again, a pretty good season for Jim Anderson and his kids as they did make it to the final day of stroke play. It just wasn't what they wanted in the end to get them into today's match play quarterfinal. DK on the Sports Tip. J-Dubs here. Cricket's here. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. New crash reported at La Cholla and River Road and La Cholla. Dodge near Glen, north of Glen on Dodge Boulevard. Twin Peaks east of Quarry Road, a collision and road work there as well. Park Avenue south of Ajo and also Kolb Road and Valencia. 67 the low, 99 and sunny tomorrow, and 101 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by ExpressPros.com. Use the experts on hiring for professional roles. Visit SRGExpress.com to connect with professionals in accounting, IT, and engineering. The specialized recruiting group takes an individual approach, placing people in contract and full-time roles. SRGExpress.com.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rock & K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills. Enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. Hit the community trails, explore local parks like Saguaro National and Colossal Cave, and mingle at private Diamond Community Park events. In the top-rated Vail School District, Rock & K is close to work, shopping, and services. Tour 11 different model homes by top-tier builders, offering move-in ready homes and special incentives. Live rockandk.com. Designed by Nature, proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
The Wildcats play here. This is your home of Arizona Wildcats football, men's basketball, and baseball. This is the home of the Wildcats. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Ah, the feeling you get when gas prices go up again. Now you can lose that feeling forever because O'Reilly Chevrolet lets you say goodbye to gas stations and hello to savings with their state-of-the-art Blazer EVs. If you're looking for a vehicle with zero emissions and a dealership with zero hassle, look no further than O'Reilly.com. Call 747-8000 or test drive one today on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Charge into the future at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Good news, everybody. We stay on the air with you for an extra 2 hours after every Arizona football and men's basketball game all season long. That's why we are the home of the Wildcats. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Do you often worry you left the garage door open? With a LiftMaster garage door opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out.
Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates is your authorized local LiftMaster dealer. Visit KaiserGarage.com for more information.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-4214. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-4214. That's 800-575-4214.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson, duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Hour number 2 of the program on this Tuesday. Hope you had a great weekend and partook in some of this great warm weather and fellowship with your family. And salutes to our many veterans who fought and died for this country and all the freedoms that we have. Don't ever forget that that is the most important thing about Memorial Day weekend. Of course, there was a lot of activity on the sports front. One of those things that took place over the weekend was the NCAA track first round. Used to be called the West Prelims. Now it is known as the first round, and the Arizona Wildcats were over participating in that, trying to qualify folks to the NCAA championships, which will be held up at Eugene, as always. This particular event, though, was over in Arkansas, Fayetteville, Arkansas. We're pleased to be joined by the head coach of the Arizona Wildcats, longtime track director Fred Harvey joins us. And Fred, welcome to the program. How did you feel about the weekend that was in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
First of all, thank you very much for having me on the program. That's always appreciated. I thought we competed at a super high level, and we just missed it on a few athletes on both sides. The top 12 moves on to the finals of the NCAA championships, and we had a number of athletes that were right at number 13, that dreaded number 13. We had one young lady, she missed it by 2/100ths of a second, making it on. Antonia Sanchez Nunez just missed it, making it on to the finals. And that's always a tough one, as you compete your butts off and you get so close, and it's so final.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you mentioned Antonia Sanchez Nunez, the latest in the long line of 400-meter hurdlers to come out of your program, 13th overall, just missing the cut to make it to Eugene. What's that? Describe that disappointment, what that's like for an athlete that comes that close and can't get there.
Yeah. Well, the toughest part is that when you felt you could have done a little bit better, to achieve that position and to be that close, it's really kind of gut wrenching. And she ran hard, and it was just not enough that day. And so that conversation that you're having with that athlete is, I'm wanting to make sure that I encourage them for, and praise them for everything that they put out there. And she didn't bow down. I mean, she just didn't have everything that she needed in that moment, but she put it out there and just missed it. And so it's one of those bittersweet situations but a conversation that you have to have and you don't want to steer away from.
We're chatting with the track director of the Arizona Wildcats, Fred Harvey. There are going to be some athletes going on to the University of Oregon, all on the men's side, talking about 400 hurdlers. Jan Vasquez got into the mix, and we talk about the conversation we always have about 400 hurdlers. It's always on the women's side, but you've had a few young men that have been able to compete high at this level. Tell us a little bit about Jan and what he kind of brings to that event for you on the men's side.
Yeah, I'm super proud of him because you want to talk about resiliency. He was a very good talent out of high school. And competed well, state champion here in Arizona. Went to UCLA, didn't have a very successful experience there, and I don't wish this on anyone, but thank God now he's not a Wildcat, and he's back where he needs to be at. And he had a great opening competition, back at the Arizona Fiesta Classic that we had, and then he was just kind of settled in. He didn't make the finals, of the Pac-12 championship, which was, it was a definite hugging, crying moment for both of us, and we made some choices like, okay, we got to pick up the bootstraps and get going here, and The most important thing that we preached about all year is, getting to the national championships. And whether you win the Pac-12 or you don't make the finals, it doesn't stop you from getting to the NCAA championships. And that's exactly what he did. I can't tell you how proud I, was of him. I am of him for, what he was able to achieve. And he fought, and there's coaches always say this, and and I'm going to say something I hate coaches say, well, there's more in them. I was like, well, you know what? I'm getting ready to say this. There's more in them.
So, then what was when you look at a kid then like Jan? What changed from Pac-12s to this weekend?
His mindset. And so if you think about this from a true conditioning training standpoint of view, there's nothing you're going to do in that 10-day period of time that gives that young man more conditioning, more speed, more anything other than getting his mind right and getting him ready to understand that he is prepared for this moment and he can do it. One of the keys, with Jan is that I have a great relationship, with his dad, who's his coach in high school, and one thing that's big for me is like I don't eliminate high school coaches and especially parents, out of the lives of the student athlete, and I think a lot of his confidence, and development, between let's say Pac-12s and in the first round. Is his dad speaking with him, me speaking. His dad and I, we speak the exact same language to this young man. So there's no separation of message. And I personally believe, I can't prove it, but I think that his dad had a lot to do with, him really believing more in himself and getting to this point.
We're chatting with Fred Harvey, the track director for the Arizona Wildcats. First round this past weekend. NCAA championships coming up this weekend up in Eugene, Oregon. Sir Jonathan Sims, a Pac-12 champion in the triple jump and qualified in 2 events for the NCAA championships this weekend. What's been his key the last few weeks to being able to compete at a high level?
Yeah, I think his key the last 2 weeks, honestly, has been his consistency all year long. From summer training, being here, getting things done that he needs to get done. His consistency in following the plan that Coach Carter has, for him. And following it, like a religion. And I think those consistencies, and when he's, we're competing during the spring, and he's long jumping and he's triple jumping, both of those events are so technical in a sense and timing that you have to have, you have to have reps in them. And he was not a young man that took any time off in terms of his preparation, and getting the reps in that he needs to. Obviously, he has the talent, to be at the NCAA finals, in both events, and that's he's a young man that I'm honored to have on our team and super proud of him.
The 4x100 squad going back to Eugene for a second straight year. How have they gotten better since last year and all they were able to accomplish?
100% belief in themselves and in the process. I preached during the fall and coming into indoor season. Indoors is nice, is cute, it's all those things, but there's no such thing as an indoor Olympic Games. It doesn't exist. And the outdoor season is where we need to be, firing at, and all of these young men and women, that are moving forward are, really, bought into that understanding. You have the same athletes that are, on the team last year with an addition, of Tyson Tippett, and he's a major player, in this. But understanding that we can break the world record at Willie Williams Classic, and that looks great for media, but they're not giving out any trophies at the Willie Williams, and so and we don't. Hell, matter of fact, we don't even give them trophies at Willie Williams. So, so they need to be ready to go when time comes. And I think one of the things that really helped them a lot this year, if you look at our home schedule, we didn't have to travel a lot. We did not travel a lot intentionally, but we brought in the top level programs in the country, into Tucson for them to be able to go head to head with. So when we wound up, at the first round and we're lining up, it's not foreign to us. We've seen you guys before. We understand how you put on your spikes and you put on your shorts, and we do it the same way. And now let's just go.
And Saguaro High grad Travion White Austin runs a 10.05 in the 100, a win-aided 10.05. Explain to people what that means, because when you look at the number, you guys put a plus 2.9. But he still broke the record. The school record is still broken again, right?
Well, technically it's not.
Okay.
So it's the fastest time under any condition. But anything that's going to be for record purposes, even qualifying for the Olympic trials, for example, if he didn't already have a mark, the 10.14 before, you can't qualify for the Olympic trials with anything over 2 meters per second of wind.
Okay.
So even if it's 2.01. It doesn't count for record purposes. It doesn't count for Olympic trial purposes. Now, for NCAA purposes, if we had run that time earlier in the season, then it's 10.05, and it could be up to 4 meters per second. Anything over 4 meters per second doesn't count for qualifying purposes, if that makes sense.
Okay. So, but because he ran the 10.14, he's already qualified for the Olympic trials.
That's correct.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
10.0. And I guess, do you know that ahead of time, before the race starts? Are you aware of what that wind meter is? Do you know, okay, this is what we got, this is what it's going to be on this particular race?
Yeah, I'm that crazy coach. So I pay extra money for a very particular app that gives me very precise wind readings. So we knew that coming into that race, it's going to be a wind-aided race, and I use it obviously for our sprint purposes, but also for the hurdles, because we need to talk, hurdle strategy, whether it's excessive wind at the high hurdles back, and that was a negative effect for my male high hurdler who had a major PR. It was so much wind that it pushed him too close, to a couple of the hurdles, and it was a detriment. So we keep very close. I keep very close track of it. I guess I'm a little obsessed, but it's okay.
All right. So then, what would he have run without that wind? Do you have an app that tells you that?
Well, we actually do, honestly, but there's a lot of variance because it has to do with body mass, and so a lighter person with a lot of wind is going to run a lot faster than a heavier person with a lot of wind. Okay, because if you can imagine, wind blowing a bowling ball, an 18-pound bowling ball down the lane, as opposed to a wind blowing, a 1-pound tennis ball down the lane. The tennis ball is going to move a lot faster.
All right, the NCAA championships coming up. Yeah, that's way over my head, Fred. Way over my head. Way over my head. So the NCAA championships is this weekend or next weekend? It's next week, right?
Yep, next week. Yeah,
Next
we depart Monday.
Okay.
And they start competition Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Outstanding. We will look to follow the Wildcats up in Eugene as some of these folks go for to try to get on the podium or get into the top 8 and score some points for you guys in the NCAA championships. Fred, we always appreciate your time. Best of luck as you guys train up this week, and we'll get back with you but probably after that and start talking about some of the folks that are going to be in the Olympic mix this year.
Absolutely. I definitely appreciate it and love always being on your program.
Thank you, Fred Harvey. He is the longtime track director at the University of Arizona, the longest standing current head coach at the University of Arizona. So on the men's side, you've got 5 athletes that are going to be headed to the NCAA championships. We will tell you who all of those are when we come back. Cricket, though, right now, getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it is Wildcats Radio, 1290 Traffic and Weather together. New crash near Davis Mountain at Golf Links and Craycroft and Golf Links. We've got a vehicle fire that was reported on Valencia at I-10 and other collisions, La Cholla and River Road, and also Kolb Road and Valencia. 67 the overnight low, 99 and sunny tomorrow, and 100 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Taco Bell's new Cravings Value Menu is a big deal, or rather, it's 10 big deals. From new items like the loaded nachos to familiar favorites like the spicy potato soft taco. Check it out at a participating Taco Bell today. Available for a limited time only while supplies last.
DJ on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
So I wore my fancy new Christmas boots that my wife got me. Ow, it don't hurt. Got a cramp. See?
Gotta stretch before you do that.
Oh, my hip. Stop trying to do crazy gymnastics in the studio.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
We return now to Eugene Snarkle, UberTube video star, and his best friend Doug.
Eugene, what happened to just buying a new set of tires at Jack Furrier's?
Way too easy, Doug.
Yes, Eugene. Jack Furrier's makes buying tires easy. So what's up with all the rubber cement and electrical tape? And why are you putting it all over your tires?
It's basic science, Doug. This Uber hack should give me another 6 months on these old treads and make me locally world famous on UberTubes.
So you'll be risking your life and your reputation.
Yes, Doug. It's all for my UberTube fans.
Well, could you at least wait a week before you try driving up Mount Lemon?
At Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, we make buying tires easy. Our local warehouse is filled with thousands of great options, all at one low price. If you need tires for your passenger car, truck, SUV, van, 4x4, RV, boat, or UTV, call us or go online to jackfurriers.com. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
You want to protect her, you'll give anything to make sure nothing harms her. Every minute together makes unforgettable memories. Except that time you parked her under that tree and...
Oh, come on, man, really?
Sorry, we'll never speak of it again. But remember who came to her rescue? Recon Auto Detailing. Arizona's premier auto detailing company comes directly to you. We'll make your masterpiece shine like it should, and with a monthly maintenance package, we'll keep it that way. Recon Auto Detailing. Online at recondetail.com.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Ooh, I'm so ready for this weekend away with my girls.
Hey, hit the road? How about some free gas?
Free gas? How?
Try new Febreze car for some serious freshness and you can win gas for a full year. Visit Febreze.com to learn more.
Say less.
You may not win, but you're gonna have a fresh smelling whip.
Thanks, DJ Fresh. Now how about some music?
Hey, yo, this next one goes out to new Febreze car for giving you a chance to win free gas.
La 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 la.
No purchase necessary. Must be 18 to enter N73124 for rules and how to enter. Visit Febreze.com.
Tired of dry, itchy skin? Have mineral buildup at every faucet. Ram Plumbing's affordable, green, eco-friendly water softener and alkalized purification systems are built right here in our great state of Arizona and use a fraction of the wastewater as their competitors. Want soft water, non-chlorinated, or the best alkalized drinking water? You can trust Ram Plumbing to be your one-stop shop. Ask about their Water Taste Challenge. 40th year anniversary savings, up to $500 off water systems and $40 off any service. If your plumbing's in trouble, call Ram on the double.
Wildcats Radio 1290 is everywhere. Wildcats fans can listen to us everywhere on our all-new app.
Now available from the Google Play Store and the App Store for iPhone users.
The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Call us or text us at that number if you want to talk Arizona track and your thoughts on the team this year. Unfortunately, as we were chatting with the head coach there, Fred Harvey, none of the women were able to qualify through to the NCAA championship, so the Wildcats will not score any points on that side. We had talked in terms of the Directors' Cup last week and how the Wildcats likely were going to qualify 8 of their 9 spring teams into a point position. But obviously with the women not getting through, that'll now be 7 of 9. And potentially, I mean, the men still have to be able to score in order to get, you got 5 chances with the young men that are getting there, but you still have to try to score. So it could even fall down to 6, which would not necessarily put the Wildcats in a very good position. Because they, right now, if you were calculating 8 potential scores, would be at 11. Now they potentially are looking at just 10 teams scoring in the Directors' Cup this year. So your athletes that qualified through on the men's side, Sir Jonathan Sims qualified through in the triple jump. And so he is through there, the event in which he won the Pac-12 championship. He finishes 7th. Overall, Jan Vasquez in the 400-meter hurdles. Travion Watt-Austin is a 3-time qualifier, twice as an individual in the 100 and in the 200 for Travion Watt-Austin, and then the 4x100 meter relay team, which consists of Travion Watt-Austin, Brian Lamage, James Onanabosi, and Tyson Tippett. Also gets through. That group finished 5th overall in the first round. Of course, this was the West first round. There is also an East first round on the other side of the country, so we'll have to see where the Wildcats, in terms of the 4x100 and some of those events, size up as the fellas get to Oregon next week and have a shot. You must finish top 8 at the Nationals, the NCAAs, to have a chance to score for your team. Wildcats, of course, last year got a whole ton of points from the fields, from the field side of it, but are going to have to work hard to try to score at the level that they did last year at the NCAA championship. So we'll keep an eye on that as they get ready to head out early next week. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. It was a sad weekend as well around the game of basketball, as we found out yesterday of the death of Bill Walton, the longtime announcer on Pac-12 basketball broadcasts, played at UCLA, won a pair of national championships with the Bruins, went to the NBA, was a high-level NBA performer and an NBA champion as well, and passed away from cancer. It was well known that Bill was sick He missed some games towards the end of the season. In fact, we were in line to had scheduled an interview with Bill the week that he stopped doing games for the Pac-12 network, and so we were unable to do that interview. You might remember that Bill was supposed to work the Arizona State game at Wells Fargo Arena, or whatever they are calling it now up there, and he ended up not being able to be present for that game. We were hoping to and had been scheduled to talk to him before that game, and then Bill never worked another game after that. Unfortunately, and has succumbed. So obviously our thoughts and prayers go out to Luke, his son, who played basketball here at the University of Arizona, and the entire Walton family on the passing of Bill Walton. We're going to let you hear a number of things throughout the rest of the broadcast. Dave Pash specifically spoke at length about his partner, Bill Walsh. Pash worked primarily with Walton on both the Pac-12 games that aired on the Pac-12 network and on ESPN over the course of the last few years. The longtime broadcaster for the Arizona Cardinals, Dave Pash. You'll hear from him. But, Jada, first your thoughts on the death of the legend and Bill Walton.
Well, Bill Walton is one of those guys where, just pick an era of his life and there's something to talk about. One of my favorite stories is when he was an All-American, got to UCLA, and handcuffed himself to the cafeteria because he wasn't happy about the Vietnam War and his people in his class dying. And this is a man who, clearly had all of the fame in the world, and it didn't matter to him. One of my other favorite stories from that era is people may not know, who only know Bill Walton from talking endlessly about his favorite peanut butters and which chakra is the best to eat peanut butter with, that he had a stutter, DK, up until he was, 28 years old. He never did interviews, never did any press during his time in college and on into the NBA because he had a very severe stutter. Overcame that to become, one of those guys you could never get to shut up. So, and everything I was always told by all the old heads in my circle of basketball fandom was that Bill Walton was the best college basketball player they ever saw play. What did he go? 21 out of 22 in that final game. Famously, Everybody knows that story. One of the greatest outlet passers of all time is what they say. You just want to talk about his playing days. Also, the tragedy of his many, many numerous injuries and the surgeries that potentially made those injuries worse. And maybe Bill Walton, you plop him in as a 18-year-old in 1998, DK. Maybe he plays for 15 years in the NBA. We know all about his foot issues up there in Portland. Really sad how his career came to an end. Got his kind of rejuvenated there with Larry Bird and those guys. Rick Carlisle was on those teams as well with the Celtics. But, just such a long and storied life. And then you talk about him being so affiliated with the Grateful Dead and everything that, he loved to talk about all of his times out of his teepees in the middle of the desert and things like that. Just a wealth of very humorous stories and anecdotes. And, man, I just loved... I know a lot of younger people, wanted Bill to talk about the game. I just loved Bill talking about life and the wisdom that he would show. You could pick bits and pieces out of everything that he said, and there was some truth to it. So, yeah, really, really will miss hearing Bill on the calls, for sure.
Tributes coming in from all over the world for Bill Walton. We'll read a few Arizona-related. Dusan Ristic, the longtime center for the Arizona Wildcats, tweeted, Bill Walton was one of the most positive and unique people I've met in my life. He had an inspiring energy that affected everyone around him. I will always remember his words and advice, and he would say, I'm the luckiest guy in the world. Thank you for your life. Bill, Sean Miller, the former head coach of the Arizona Wildcats, tweeting about the death of Bill Walton. Bill Walton was the most positive, enthusiastic, unique, and funny person I've met. In the 12 years I was at Arizona, I had the great fortune to be around Bill and interact with him as a colleague, mentor, and friend. He introduced himself to me at every game day shoot-around the same way. Coach, hi, I'm Bill. He left me some of the most iconic voice messages a man can receive. I saved them all. He knew the names of my wife, my kids, and always asked me how my dad was doing, and he loved the Pac-12. Bill will be missed by many people. I'm certainly one of them. He made me smile every time I saw him. my thoughts and prayers go out to the entire Walton family.
How about the impact Bill had for European basketball?
Yeah.
Because, the early 90s, David Stern was making a big push to get it to become an international game. But when that dream team happened, a lot of the other countries around the world that wanted to be involved couldn't. And Bill Walton, along with the Grateful Dead, was responsible for the Lithuanian basketball team even making that trip. Right?
Yeah.
Another great story.
Yeah. I mean, just some great memories. Former President Barack Obama said this: Bill Walton was one of the greatest basketball players of all time, a champion at every level and the embodiment of unselfish team play. He was also a wonderful spirit, full of curiosity, humor, and kindness. We are poor for his passing. Michelle and I send our deepest condolences to his family. Let's hear Dave Pasch talking about the final game. This was February 1st. It was a game, Oregon against USC, that they worked together, the final broadcast of Bill Walton's career. This was Dave Pasch talking about it yesterday.
Is it true that you were in the mix to play Chewbacca?
No.
I heard that.
Chewbacca is modeled after me.
I'm being serious. I heard that you were in the running for that you were being considered to play that role. I'm being dead serious.
You're always serious. That's one of your problems, is that you don't have fun with your life.
But you're not answering the question.
No, George Lucas is as cool as they get. And I remember the night that George and Kareem and Bill Russell and me, we were all up in San Francisco at a big fundraiser for the Martin Luther King Memorial. Beautiful play by Johnny Rice.
So since you're not answering the question, I'm just going to assume it's true.
What was the question?
I'm just going to assume it's true because there's...
I auditioned for Chewbacca, and they said, no, but we're going to model the character after you.
You were in Ghostbusters, and people didn't know that. So, again, I think there's a great chance that this is a true story.
I had no idea he was in Ghostbusters. Chewbacca. I love it. He says, I auditioned for Chewbacca.
Chewbacca.
Yeah, that was the last game that Dave Pasch and Bill Walton worked together, Oregon USC, and Dave talked about that at length yesterday on ESPN.
I mean, it was all spontaneous. He never told me he liked it that way. He I think, viewed it as I was, in a way, his competition, and it brought him back to his playing days where he didn't want to talk to me at all before the game. We never rehearsed anything, so I never knew what was coming. And I just remember the last game we did together, February 1st. We're doing a game at USC, and George Lucas comes up somehow, and I said, how was your audition for Chewbacca? And not only did he go with it by saying he auditioned and didn't get the part, but he then said that Chewbacca basically was fashioned in his image and that the character was created after Bill. And we totally made the story up. And all of a sudden, like People Magazine, all of these Hollywood reporters are writing stories, and they're finding old George Lucas quotes about how actually Chewbacca was not created in the image of Bill Walton. But he and I just died laughing how people took it so seriously. And that was my most recent memory because it was the last time I saw him. But there were so many over the last 12 years, especially on the Pac-12 games.
Yeah, quite a few memories. Unfortunately, I met Bill Walton once during my time here, but never really got a chance to do an interview with him. That's why I was looking forward to that chance to chat with him earlier this year. Never had the audience to really sit down and talk to him at length. But again, just some great stuff last night. And I'm going to let you, in the next segment, we'll let you hear Roxy Bernstein. You could almost tell. I mean, it was, and you go back to the fact that this was announced yesterday, but my feeling is that this may have happened a few days ago.
Yeah.
Because if you listen to Roxy's the end of what he talked about, the end of his broadcast on Friday night, and then the end of his broadcast on Saturday, there's a distinct difference in what he says about Bill Walton, almost to the point where after I listened to it, I was like, it made me believe that maybe Roxy knew Saturday night either that he had passed away or was about to pass away, the way he spoke of Bill after that Arizona win over USC. So we'll let you hear that as well if you have not. It's DK on the Sports Tip. We want to hear your memories of Bill Walton today as well. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290. If you had a chance to meet Bill Walton, it seemed like everything. I watched a bunch of different reels yesterday. It seemed like a lot of them were Bill Walton. The things happened at McHale Center. Seemed like every other one was Bill Walton at McHale Center.
He was here a lot. Yeah. And my favorite thing about Bill was he would go the opposite direction. You'd think, oh, his kid plays for the team. Mm-hmm. He's going to be blowing smoke at him and all that stuff. Nah, I mean, Bill, if anything, would be more harshly critical than he probably should have been in those settings, just so that there wasn't any kind of viewing of impartiality. You know? So I loved hearing Bill do U of A games because he was obviously a huge fan of Coach Olson. Coach Wooden being somebody who shaped Bill Walton's life. I think he saw a lot of the same characteristics in Coach Olson. So, yeah, he really, truly adopted this campus. Didn't get a degree here, but definitely an honorary Wildcat, without a doubt.
You can share your thoughts also on Bill Walton through text, 520-848-1290. It's DK on the Sports Tip, and cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions that are reported Craycroft and Golf Links and Craycroft, La Cholla and River Road and La Cholla. Also earlier, pretty serious collision occurred at Kolb and Valencia and Kolb Road. 67 the low, sunny, 99 tomorrow, and 102 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance flexes to fit your business's needs. From quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options, Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, summer is our season. And we're kicking it off with a free 12-ounce Island Punch smoothie for National Flip Flop Day. Grab your flip-flops and head to your local cafe on May 29th from 2 to 7 p.m. Terms and conditions apply.
We return now to Eugene Snarkle, UberTube video star, and his best friend Doug.
Eugene, what happened to just buying a new set of tires at Jack Furrier's?
Way too easy, Doug.
Yes, Eugene. Jack Furrier's makes buying tires easy. So what's up with all the rubber cement and electrical tape? And why are you putting it all over your tires?
It's basic science, Doug. This Uber hack should give me another 6 months on these old treads and make me locally world famous on UberTubes.
So you'll be risking your life. And your reputation.
Yes, Doug. It's all for my UberTube fads.
Well, could you at least wait a week before you try driving up Mount Lemon?
At Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, we make buying tires easy. Our local warehouse is filled with thousands of great options, all at one low price. If you need tires for your passenger car, truck, SUV, van, 4x4, RV, boat, or UTV, call us or go online to jackfurriers.com. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
You are paying too much for gas because you're paying for gas. Why pay for gas when you could pay for a new Blazer EV at O'Reilly Chevrolet and save $7,500 right off the top? That's just where the savings start. So use your electronic phone and go to O'Reilly.com and see them all in person on Broadway next to Park Place Mall, or call 747-8000. Trade up and trade in and put gas in your rearview mirror. See us today at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
If you're a do-it-yourselfer looking for quality car parts in Tucson, look no further. Advance Auto Parts has 6 Tucson locations with over 75 years in business. Advance Auto Parts is the largest car parts retailer in the U.S., and customers know they can trust their products, like DieHard batteries. Now with free installation, only found at Advance Auto Parts stores. Take advantage of our same-day delivery and pickup. Just visit our website at stores.advanceautoparts.com. And make sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Advance Auto Parts, for all your car repair needs. Now a proud radio sponsor of the University of Arizona Wildcats.
Hey, it's David Kelly. Do you know the radio is not the only place to find Wildcats Radio 1290? You can stream us by downloading our 1290 app.
A deep three is good, and the Cats are on top.
We're also available on the iHeartMedia and Odyssey apps, or head to our website, wildcatsradio1290.com.
Touchdown, Cats.
We're even on Alexa. Just ask her to put on Wildcats Radio 1290 so you never miss any of Southern Arizona's most important and in-depth conversation.
Seasons change. Why not your tech? Upgrade now during the Dell Technologies Summer Sale event and save on select PCs like the XPS 16, powered by Intel Core processors. You'll be able to bring your most intensive projects to life with built-in AI, minimalistic design, immersive visuals, and cinematic audio. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to exceptional tech and electronics plus free shipping on everything. Amazing prices await you for a limited time only at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
If you need bold banners to boost your business, but you're on a budget, think Staples. Posters, flyers, signs, and menus for less? Think Staples. Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward. Now at Staples, save $50 on your print purchase of $150 or more. Same-day service available on hundreds of items if you order by noon. And all backed by Staples' Print Perfect guarantee. So it's done right or it's printed again free. Staples, your local print and marketing expert. And 6-1, visit staples.com/print for details.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. WNBA tonight. The Mercury are back on the court. They've got a tough one, though. They're taking on the Connecticut Sun on the road, and the Connecticut Sun have not lost a game yet this year. They are an undefeated 5-0. But good news. Good news, Clea Copper is your WNBA Western Conference Player of the Week, as she should be after back-to-back 35-plus point games in 3 games last week. She averaged 30 points while shooting 53% from the field and 48% from 3, leading the Mercury to 2 wins in those 3 games. She had the 32-point game in the game against the she had the 37-point game and then the 38-point game back-to-back for the Mercury.
Cynthia, is that right? Cooper?
Cynthia Cooper.
Yeah. I think Kalia Copper should be Kalia Coop Copper, since Cooper is the name that we always, for some reason, want to call her.
Right.
Is currently leading the WNBA in scoring. So, yeah, she should be the player of the week.
Absolutely.
29.2 points per game.
So this will be the 3-game road trip for the Mercury. Starts tonight. That game actually is underway now. I believe it started at 4 o'clock. We'll get you an update on that. But Clea Copper, your player of the week in the WNBA, the Western Conference Player of the Week.
I have an
in the WNBA
update if you'd like it.
Yes.
Currently, the Phoenix Mercury, sitting at 3-2 on the season, are trailing 28-20 to the undefeated 5-0 Connecticut Sun at home.
Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Talking about the death of Bill Walton, longtime broadcaster, a basketball legend in the Pac-12 at UCLA. I mean, that was when they were, churning out just player after player, whether it was Lou Alcindor, Bill Walton during the John Wooden era of the conference, the Pac-10. Just a great basketball player. J-Dub mentioned, went on to the NBA, won a title late in his career with the legendary Boston Celtics teams of the 80s. Rick Carlisle was on those teams. You will hear a little bit later what Rick Carlisle said yesterday after his team was eliminated in a 4-game sweep by the team that he played for. You will also hear from T.J. McConnell on the Pacers' exit from the NBA playoffs. But let's hear from Dave Pash right now, who talked about the generosity of Bill Walton.
I just remember countless people from every generation, all shapes and sizes, coming up to Bill, sometimes in the middle of the game, but many before the game or after the game, and he would always take time for them. He spent sometimes an hour plus after the game signing autographs, taking pictures. There'd be a huge line of people, and Bill would take time for every one of them. And again, I think that speaks to his generosity, his kindness, his humility, his love for people. And, he never wore a hat. He was easy to spot anyway, but, if he was at an airport, he didn't wear a hat, so he wasn't trying to hide. And everybody would come up to him and talk to him, and he had time for everybody. That's just who Bill was. And, if you came in contact with Bill, I can't tell you how many calls and texts I've gotten from people today that had a story about Bill and how he made them feel good. And I think Bill, knowing that a lot of us are smiling today, thinking about Bill, that would make Bill very, very happy because he loved to laugh and smile. And again, I think it made Bill smile even brighter to know that he was making you laugh and smile.
And again, a lot of those instances where he was making people laugh and smile came right here in McHale Center or in games involving the University of Arizona. Here was one back and forth between Pash and Walton just a few years ago when U of A knocked off UCLA to win the Pac-12 men's basketball tournament in Las Vegas.
Crease up, Steve, got it! Arizona back on top.
Rubs his shoulder, wipes off the blood, and calls the crowd down onto the court. Jimmy Buffett next door, son of a sailor. We're on our way to Margaritaville.
After 3 games and 3 nights with you, perhaps.
I mean, that was some great stuff right there between those two guys. That was a shot that Kerr Crease had hit late, a three-pointer, just a few years ago to put Arizona on top of UCLA late in the game in Las Vegas, which they would go on to win that contest. I want you to, before we we'll hear from the let's go ahead and we'll get into more of Bill Walton in the next hour. I do want to get to Arizona softball as they fell over the weekend, losing in a sweep to the Oklahoma State Cowgirls to be eliminated from the NCAA softball tournament in the Super Regionals. I've always said my baseline, I have my baselines. My baseline for every program, and my baseline for softball is Super Regionals. And this team got there, so I look at it as a successful season. Assuredly not the way that the Wildcats wanted it to end. After the Game 2 loss, Caitlin Lowe addressed her club along with Allie Skaggs and Blaze Behringer. And the Wildcats, again, finish. They lost 10-4. It was a game in which there was a rain delay after the ball game, or that shortened that ball game, or lengthened that ball game, I should say. It was a game that was supposed to be on ESPN on Saturday, but they did not. They didn't. The game before that, which was a great game between Texas and Texas A&M. I don't know if you had a chance to see that game, but it was a great game between Texas and Texas A&M that went long, and so the Wildcats did not appear that the Wildcats game was going to even make it onto ESPN, but they ended up getting on after that game ended, and then there was the rain delay, and that game finished. So let's hear the final out of that game between the Wildcats and Oklahoma State.
The Cats down to their final out. Ground ball to third. Edwards throws to first. And for the 5th consecutive time and the 15th time in school history, the Oklahoma State Cowgirls are headed to the Women's College World Series.
So that's going to be the standard as we move forward. The standard is going to be Oklahoma State. and that is the team that the Wildcats are going to have to beat if they want to be the softball team that is standing atop of the Big 12 annually. Baylor's got a good program there, but there's no question that when you look at those three teams, those are going to be the standards. I mean, Utah's played well, and they've kind of built that program, so they could be a team that goes in and is at the upper half of that conference. But Oklahoma State is going to be the team that Arizona is going to have to put the bullseye on if they have any shot of wanting to be the best team in their new conference. We'll follow up and get that reaction from the ladies coming up for you in our 5 o'clock hour. But let's continue our conversation with on the lines of the Pac-12 conference. And I want you to hear what Roxy Bernstein, I mentioned earlier in the show, we had both of his sign-offs from both the Pac-12 Network and ESPN. Let's hear the one from ESPN here, because I'd mentioned in the last segment that it was almost like Roxy, at the end of this, when he begins to talk about Bill Walton, knew what had happened to Bill or what was about to happen with his longtime partner.
Well, tonight is the final Pac-12 broadcast on ESPN. It's been a great partnership. A different version of the Pac-12 will move forward and will not look like the league we're used to. It's been an amazing ride, and I've been privileged to be a part of this league, not just this season and not just with ESPN, but for a long time. I grew up on the Pac-10 and have been connected to this conference nearly all my life. Attending and graduating the University of California, getting my professional start on radio as a broadcaster for Cal when I was 23, and then to covering the Pac-12 for ESPN. Being in this position has opened the door for me to amazing friendships and relationships with many of these Pac-12 legends. This conference is in my heart and soul. And like so many of you out there, it means more to me than I can express. No other conference can match the history of the Pac-12, and that's what truly makes this the Conference of Champions. Since the news came out last August about the breakup of the Pac-12, we've had a lot of time to digest the news, but the sting is still fresh and will be for a long time. Tonight is bittersweet as we crown the last Pac-12 baseball champion, and the last champion, congrats to Arizona. As we get ready to say goodbye from the last Pac-12 event, I can't sign off from this seat or this broadcast without paying homage to my good friend Bill Wolt. As Bill likes to say, thank you for my life. Bill, thank you, and I'm the luckiest guy in the world. So for all of us, for my partner Wes Clements, and for our ESPN crew, for the last time, Roxy Bernstein saying so long for the Pac-12, and for the last time you've been watching the Pac-12 on ESPN.
That was Roxy Bernstein on Saturday night after Arizona knocked off USC in a game that was aired on ESPN2, signing off the Pac-12 network for the final time on ESPN, or at least in this juncture of the Pac-12, because who knows what the future holds down the road. All right, we have just gotten some breaking news about your Tucson Roadrunners. We will dive into that straight ahead. It's DK on the Sports Tip. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Irvington and I-19, a lot of police presence in the area. Avoid that area of I-19 and Irvington. The northbound I-19 Irvington off-ramp is blocked. We've got reported collisions for Grant Road west of Craycroft, Sandario north of Mile Wide Road, and also Craycroft and Golf Links. And for your weather, 67 the low, 99 and sunny tomorrow, and 102 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Dairy Queen. Hey DQ fans, the ultimate cookie blizzard treat is the dessert that has it all. With Oreo, Chips Ahoy, and Nutter Butter, this blizzard treat has everything cookie lovers dream of. Don't wait, this one-of-a-kind confection won't be here long. Only at participating DQ.
This is Jim
Rome with your Rome Report. Let me start this week by giving the Indiana Pacers credit. They fought to the bitter end. That was an incredibly competitive series for them against Boston. That might have been the closest series I've ever seen that wasn't actually close at all. Not that the Pacers don't deserve credit, because they do. Credit to Indy for playing Boston tough and not backing down or giving in after losing Tyrese Haliburton. If you're new here, this is a huge Pacer house and a huge Rick Carlisle house, and it was a huge year for the Pacers and Rick Carlisle. There is no denying that. In fact, Carlisle called it a, quote, magical year after that game last night. Can't disagree with that. Nobody saw these dudes getting within 4 games of the NBA Finals. There was optimism, sure, but this season wound up way above and beyond expectations in Indiana. So yes, a magical year to get this far.
O'Reilly. Extend the life of your engine with regular oil changes and save at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, pick up 5 quarts of O'Reilly full synthetic motor oil and a MicroGuard oil filter for $31.99. Or upgrade to a MicroGuard Select filter for just $2 more. Limits apply. Available in-store only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Summer starts now with Memorial Day appliance savings at Lowe's. Get up to 40% off. Plus, save an extra $50 on every $500 you spend on select major appliances from brands like KitchenAid. And right now, you can double your savings when you spend $2,500 or more. Shop in-store or online today, because Lowe's knows home improvement. Offer valid through 6/5. Savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Make the right choice for your home when it comes to windows and doors. For more than 20 years, the Window Depot has provided the best price and biggest inventory on in-stock windows and doors. The Window Depot is open to the public, so whether you're a homeowner or a contractor, you can shop the enormous warehouse. Browse the shelves with over 1,000 vinyl windows, interior and patio doors, and skylights in several varieties and sizes available to go home today. Shop thewindowdepot.com or find a location near you. The Window Depot. Best price, biggest inventory.
Go Wildcats! As a new season starts, the Tucson Police Department bears down with the Tucson community. We are looking to build our team, and we need you. Interested in joining our starting lineup? Visit jointucsonpd.org. Join our team and score a great career. From our commissioned officers to our professional staff, the Tucson Police Department proudly stands behind the Arizona Wildcats. Bear down and apply today at jointucsonpd.org.
We get you so close to the action at McHale, it feels like Wilbur and Wilma are in the car with you. This is the home of Arizona men's basketball. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
It's no contest, Tucson. You're listening to the home of the Arizona Wildcats. That's why 1290 runs this town. This is the one and only home of your Arizona Wildcats.
And you know this, man!
We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station.
We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson, duh.
It's D-Day on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Big news coming from Tucson Arena this hour. The Tucson Roadrunners. We had gone over the story that Craig Morgan, I should say, had put out last week from the Arizona Republic in Phoenix about what might the schedule look like for your Tucson Roadrunners next season. The belief was that there might be as many as, 14 games potentially at Mullet Arena in Tempe, with about 22 of the 36 games being played here in Southern Arizona. Well, it's not going to be that many games in Mullet Arena in Tempe after all. The Tucson Roadrunners have just sent out a release this hour regarding their future, and that release indicates that 30 games will be played next season, or this coming season, which begins in October. 30 games will be played at the Tucson Arena. 6 games will be played at the Mullet Arena in Phoenix. Now, that's kind of what we thought could also potentially transpire with this, because the deal as it stood stated that the Roadrunners could play as many as 5 games outside of the city of Tucson. So it appears they threw Alex Marullo a mulligan, or a nugget, if you want to call it that, and said, we'll give you 1 more game, Alex. Instead of 5, we'll give you 6. So you can play 6 games up in Phoenix to try to keep a presence of hockey going there now that the city has lost the Arizona Coyotes. So good news if you are a Tucson Roadrunners fan. The Roadrunners are going to play the majority of their schedule here at the Tucson Arena next season, 30 games. So let me, I'll read you exactly what this release says. The Tucson Roadrunners announced today the team will play a minimum of 30 games in Tucson Arena in 2024-25 and will remain in Tucson as the home market for American Hockey League for the foreseeable future. The decision comes on the heels of a 9-0 unanimous vote today during the Rio Nuevo District's board meeting to keep the team playing in the El Pueblo. The Roadrunners staying here is a win for the region and great news for Arizona hockey, said Fletcher McCusker, chairman of the Rio Nuevo District. Tucson is to Phoenix as Austin is to Dallas, a professional sports super region. We want Tucson to be the AHL piece of that kind of partnership. We would like to thank the Rio Nuevo District Board of Directors for their tremendous support that enables the Roadrunners to maintain a strong presence in Tucson and throughout Arizona, said Alex Marullo Jr., the owner of the Coyotes. This is an important step to our continued commitment to a bright future of hockey in Arizona. So the Roadrunners will enter their 9th season of play in Tucson this fall. And over the past several weeks, there had been discussions between the city of Tucson and the Rio Nuevo District, along with Marullo, about finding a solution to keep the team here in Southern Arizona. And so that is exactly what will happen. The Roadrunners will play 30 games in Tucson Arena this year. The president of the Tucson Roadrunners had this to say. Bob Hoffman: We are thrilled to know that the Roadrunners will continue to play in front of our loyal Tucson fans for the foreseeable future. We look forward to an exciting 24-25 season where we build on last year's success with the support of the best fans in the AHL. The 72-game AHL regular season schedule will be released in July for additional details and updated information. Now, there's scheduled to be a vote on this as early as it was initially announced as May 3rd that the AHL will vote on this proposal. And then I'm just told by Adrian Denny, the play-by-play voice of the Tucson Roadrunners, that an official ratification of this deal with the city and the city council will come on June the 4th. And so that will be the process for which this all is handled. So good news if you're an Arizona Coyotes or Tucson Roadrunners fan. Hockey remaining here in Southern Arizona, at least for the majority of this coming season. All right, I want to hear from you on that today. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. If you are a Tucson Roadrunners fan, what do you feel about that? Again, they've played all of the home games here in Tucson in the past. But there was always a stipulation in the contract that said that the Coyotes could move as many as 5 games a year to another venue. If they wanted to bring those games up to the Phoenix area, they could do that. Now, the Coyotes never exercised that option as far as I can remember. I don't ever remember any games going outside of Southern Arizona, but obviously this is a different situation now. So 6 of those games will be played up in the Valley at the Mullet, which will also be the home of the new G League basketball team affiliate of your Phoenix Suns, Valley Suns, as they will be called. So the Mullet is going to be a very busy place. And again, it's a good venue. It's a good 5,000-seat venue. Great for a great atmosphere for college hockey for the Arizona State University. A great venue for the G League team, I would imagine, that's going to come up there, and folks will get a chance to see some of those prospects and kids play, and it'll be a good venue. Obviously, they've played NHL hockey there before and college hockey, so it'll be a good venue as well for the 6 games that this franchise will play.
I had to run down the
well.
hall really quick. I didn't hear a little bit of that. Did you talk about the Rio Nuevo thing today?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it was part of the release.
Yeah, so they're talking about how they may do away with ticket prices.
Oh, no, we didn't say that.
Yeah, apparently the board of directors, this came out about half an hour ago. Rio Nuevo's board of directors, they own the building, so they would be willing, the offer is to cut half of the rent for the building for the season, and as long with the offices for the business side of things, and do away with the $2 per ticket price.
Wow.
So more incentive.
Interesting things happening here with our hockey team. We were efforting a comment from the Roadrunners, but I'm told that they will likely wait until after this is officially ratified by the city council before they make any type of comment. So we'll see if we can get a hold of somebody for tomorrow with Rio Nuevo and see what they have to say about all of this. All right, let's hear from the Arizona softball team. We're talking a little bit about them in the last half hour. They fall in a sweep to Oklahoma State after Game 2, a 10-4 loss to the Cowgirls. Caitlin Lowe, along with Allie Skaggs and Blaze Behringer, spoke about their season coming to an end.
Yeah, hats off to Oklahoma State, and best of luck moving forward. I thought they were a great opponent for the weekend. I think their bullpen was fantastic, hit well, played good defense. But on our side, I just have to say I couldn't be more proud of our team and what we've been able to do this season. Very proud of our seniors, 2 of them to the left of me, and really sad to see them moving on. But they have left such a lasting impression, not just on this program, but on the current team moving forward, on our fan base in Tucson, on our support staff, a little bit of everything. And I was telling Allie after the game that there's going to be thousands and thousands little Allie Skaggs fans that are going to grow up and play college softball because, they pour into this game every single day that they're out there. So just couldn't be more proud of the group that we have and excited for what the future brings, but also just know these guys are going to kick butt in whatever they do moving forward.
Questions? Coach, what was the rain delay like? The lightning delay, I guess. What did y'all do? And obviously, overcoming the deficit you had was going to be difficult, but you guys seemed to really have some life when you came back out.
Yes, we had a whole lot of life. I think my only regret was that we didn't play 14 innings that way because I thought that was our best softball that we played at the very end of the series. We were talking about, outside we were talking about tornado watches and warnings and what's the difference between the two. And we're just trying to stay busy, stay together, and stay ready to play. And these girls wanted to be back out on the field. And I'm so proud of the way they finished the game that way. I think it shows grit and character, and they beat us in the last 3 innings, and it didn't feel like they were beating, our true selves the rest of the weekend. So that felt great. These girls can stay occupied with anything during a rain delay, so just proud of the way they came out.
Allie, this is obviously really hard to do to come in here after a loss, but what has it meant for you guys to make it this far and, to be able to be playing this late in the game?
Yeah, honestly, I think one thing that I've been fortunate enough to do, and Blaze here with me and our senior class, and honestly just with Arizona softball in general, this is something that we expect to do every year. So that's one thing that I feel like we've been very lucky is that years like last year when we don't get a shot to make a run in the postseason, that's an anomaly. That doesn't tend to happen with our program. So every year we expect to be in these situations. So it's been honestly it's fun to have that expectation and to go out and actually do it. So it's been fun, and it's been a program that I feel like every year deserves a shot to keep running because we like to play our best softball in the postseason from what I've seen. And no, it's been great, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
You said last night that you've seen the World Series before, so you were at a different team before.
My freshman year we got to go we had a really, really good senior class with Jessie Harper, Deja Mulipola. They did a very good job, and they got us to the World Series, and I got to be a part of that team. And then my sophomore year, we made a run as well in the postseason and made it to the World Series, too.
What's been your favorite memory here at Arizona?
Oh, gosh. There's a lot.
Pick just one.
Pick one. One specific one that I remember, and I always go back to, is Super Regionals at Mississippi State. Our team was down 1-0 in, I think, the 6th inning, maybe 5th inning, and I hit a solo shot to right to tie the game, and Izzy Pacho ended up hitting a solo shot in the 8th inning to get us up 2-1, and I remember I was actually in the bathroom at the time that she hit it, and so I was sprinting. I remember on camera I was just sprinting out of the bathroom trying to button up my pants again. But no, that game was awesome, being able to hit that tying run when we needed the momentum, and then honestly I feel like once we won that game we knew we were going to OKC, so that was one specific memory. But honestly, in general, just playing at the U of A has been absolutely amazing. I've loved this program so much, and to play in Tucson and to play in front of, sorry, I'm going to get emotional, to play in front of all of those, like Kate said, the little girls, and all, my family lives there, and so it's been amazing to play in front of that environment for 4 years.
For the players, do y'all remember what it was like to grow up and be looking up to girls who were in y'all's position right now?
Yeah, I think when I was younger, I just remember looking up to the girls who are in my situation now, and now that I'm in the same shoe that they were in is just a blessing, and I'm so grateful that my family, my friends, my coaches have led me to this position, and I couldn't be more grateful.
Yeah, honestly, I feel the same way. I remember my nickname growing up was Gator, and so naturally I was a Florida Gators fan. So I just remember being 10 years old watching Florida dominate at the World Series and everywhere, and just being able to see them and now being able to become them has been the absolute coolest thing. And I think that gives us a unique perspective for the future of the game too, is that we got to see what it was like to be the kid that was looking up to them, and now we're the people that they're looking up to. So it makes it a little more special for us to give back and to really, honestly, just do everything we can to make sure that those girls that are watching us feel like they can become us one day, and that's our end goal.
All right, that was Allie Skaggs along with Blaze Behringer and head coach Caitlin Lowe of your Arizona softball team. Both of those young ladies with connections to Southern Arizona. And the season comes to an end in the Super Regionals, 37-18-1, the final record after 35 years of making the postseason. They did not go last year, but they were able to get back this year. And really, again, I think the story of this season is going to be how they did that without what they thought was going to be their top two pitchers when the season started in Devin Netz and Sydney Sumnerdike. Both of those young ladies never pitched this season due to injury, and they were still able to carve out a successful year. Finishing in the Pac-12, in the middle of the Pac-12, but being able to go back into the postseason, win a regional on the road at Fayetteville, Arkansas. Not an easy place to go and win, but they were able to do that with a pair of wins in which they scored 23 runs combined over Villanova and a tight 2-1 win over Arkansas, and then going to Oklahoma State. And again, like I said, finding out what the future is going to look like as these Cowgirls outscored them 18-4. In this event, and that is the blueprint for what this Wildcat softball team is going to need to do to get back on top, because Oklahoma State is one of those teams now that's at the forefront of this sport, and you're going to be seeing them every single year moving forward. All right, much more coming up for you as we take you up to the end of this show at 6 o'clock. We're going to hear from Emilio Corona, who scored the game-winning run for your Arizona Wildcats in their baseball win over USC. It's DK on the Sports Tip. I'm David Kelly. J-Dub is here. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Police activity, Irvington and I-19 on the east side of I-19 on Irvington for police activity. Please avoid that area. The northbound I-19 Irvington off-ramp is blocked due to that police activity. Crashes that are reported, Grant and Craycroft, also Sandario north of Mile Wide Road. 67 the low, 99 and sunny tomorrow, and 102 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's. Order a biggie bag at Wendy's today. When you think of your go-to meal, what do you think of? Because if it's not the Wendy's biggie bag with your choice of JBC or crispy chicken sandwich plus 4-piece nugs, junior fries, and a small soft drink, Wendy's biggie bag hits every time. So stop by and grab your ride or die meal. U.S. price and participation may vary.
Not all sports stations are built the same way. 1290 has Wildcats football, men's basketball, and baseball, plus the NFL and the Super Bowl. Tucson Trust's 1290. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
If you need bold banners to boost your business, but you're on a budget, think Staples. Posters, flyers, signs, and menus for less? Think Staples. Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward. Now at Staples, save $50 on your print purchase of $150 or more. Same-day service available on hundreds of items if you order by noon. And all backed by Staples' Print Perfect guarantee. So it's done right or it's printed again free. Staples, your local print and marketing expert. And 6-1, visit staples.com/print for details.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Now.
Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Now.
Hey guys, what are you... Gotta take this. Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Now.
Thank you for... Right. You don't say. Now.
Hold it. What's with all the nows?
People want to know the best time for an elastification.
And you're telling them...
Hello? Now.
Well, there's no bad time for elastification. But the best time is now.
Pretty soon, Arizona temps are going to put a strain on your AC.
Now is really the best time.
You're not telling people about all the money they save?
Now.
Or how Alaskan AC will make their AC last longer?
Now.
Or the big 1-year guarantee that their AC will not break down?
Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Well, Ron wants to tell you a bunch of stuff. I know. That's kind of what I told him. Okay, thanks. Oh, by the way, now.
The best time for an Alaskification is
now.
Schedule at AlaskanAC.com. Now.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text ORDER to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text ORDER to 42424. That's ORDER to 42424.
Wildcats fans from coast to coast can bring a little bit of Tucson to themselves wherever they happen to be by streaming 1290 on our website at wildcatsradio1290.com. The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports, sponsored by T-Mobile. Congratulations to the Boston College lacrosse team, who won their second national title in program history last weekend. The Eagles defeated Northwestern 14-13 after trailing by 6 goals in the first quarter. Boston College lost in the title game the past 2 seasons, including last year, to Northwestern. On Sunday, the Eagles' comeback win was led by senior Kayla Martello. She finished her last collegiate game with 5 goals and was named Most Outstanding Player. After winning the national championship her freshman year, Martello has the Eagles flying high once again.
We have been hungry for this, and obviously we had 2 big losses those next 2 years. Our term is bookended, and we have been searching for that all year. So it's amazing to bring that back, and it's also amazing to have the younger girls get that feeling of winning a national championship while we were here, when we had it when we were young, and we know how helpful that can be moving forward. So it feels amazing, and it's a dream come true.
With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Erica Herskowitz on Westwood One.
With T-Mobile, you can get tons of benefits and still save, because nobody likes having to choose. It's like getting romance and sci-fi.
I love you. Also, I'm a robot.
At T-Mobile, you can get the benefits you want and still save on every plan versus AT&T and Verizon. See how with our savings calculator at T-Mobile.com/switch. Plus, switch and keep your phone. We'll pay it off up to $800.
Via virtual prepaid card in 15 days. Qualifying unlocked device credit service and timely redemption required. Card has no cash access and expires in 6 months. See T-Mobile.com.
Some people just know the more you protect, the more you save with Allstate. Because they know insurance math. Like if you protect your home and auto, Allstate can save you up to 25%. So it's like losing money if you don't bundle. Save more when you protect more. Bundle home and auto with Allstate today.
Bundled savings vary by state and are not available in every state. Saving up to 25% is the countrywide average of the maximum available savings off the home policy. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on this program today. Remember when we talked last week about the Edmonton Oilers stealing home ice advantage from the Dallas Stars with a win in Game 1 of the NHL's Western Conference Finals? Well, they've given it right back.
Dallas still keeps possession. Robertson in deep. Banked it. He scored! A hat-trick goal! Robertson outweighted Skinner. Looked for a window. Banked it off him and in. And with 8:06 to go, Robertson's hat-trick gives Dallas the 4-3 lead.
That from the Dallas Stars radio network. Dallas won Game 2, and then they went up to Edmonton last night and won Game 3, 5-3, thanks to the hat trick, 3 goals from Jason Robertson. So the Stars have taken a 2-1 lead. They are back in control of the series in terms of home ice. Game 4 will be in Edmonton on Wednesday night. Meanwhile, in the other series, it is also currently 2-1 in favor of the New York Rangers. This after the Rangers lost Game 1. They stormed back, won Game 2, and then went and won Game 3 on Sunday in Carolina. So now they are trying to go up a commanding 3-1 with the potential to be headed back to New York with that commanding lead. That game is just underway down in Florida, and the Panthers and Rangers, no score early. Game number 5 would be back in New York. That would be on, I believe, Friday. Yes, would be Game 5 in that series if the Rangers can get the win. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. NBA, we have one team in the finals, and it is the Boston Celtics, who got a huge bucket from Derek White when their game with the Pacers was tied late.
Jalen stops. Jalen on a dime, dribbles to the middle of the floor, jump pass into the corner. Derek White for 3. Got it! Derek White from the right corner has given Boston a 105-102 lead.
And that would be your final, as the Celtics are going back to the NBA Finals.
Tatum against Turner. Tatum pushes off, steps back, 3 in the air, no good. Rebound, Drew Holiday, 4 seconds to go. Kick out Jalen. Can they get to him? Can they commit the foul? They cannot, and it's over. It's over. The Boston Celtics swarm the floor.
And the Celtics, again, a 4-game sweep, 105-102 was the final in Game 4. Jaylen Brown led the way with 29 points. Derek White hit the big 3. He had just 2 3-pointers made in the game, but finished with 16 points. Jason Tatum had 26. So the Celtics are back, J-Dub, after losing to the Warriors. What was that now? 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Is that the game? I think that was the year after the bubble. So
Yeah.
21.
Yeah.
Again, a veteran team now. A lot of those guys were youngsters so that first time around, but they feel like they're old enough now to understand what they got to do to get it done.
Well, I mean, the only real big change is Marcus Smart is no longer on the team, and they picked up Drew Holiday over the summer, DK. And, I mean, Marcus Smart, known for his defense, kind of came around on his three-point shooting after a while. Drew Holiday is just such an improvement. It doesn't matter if there's an age difference there. Drew Holiday really, really kind of ties that team together. And if you talk about Mr. White, I mean, come on. That guy's story is crazy, DK. He spent 3 years at a small college in Colorado, Mr. Basketball in Colorado, only plays the 1 year with the Buffaloes, right? And that was 2016-17. I don't really remember him very much from that Colorado Buffaloes team. Then he kind of just does his thing, gets his foot in the door. In these last 2-3 years, I mean, he is unquestionably the best, at least in terms of blocking shots is concerned, best defensive guard in the NBA. So when you're talking about that roster, that Celtics roster, they got 4 borderline all-star guards with Tatum and Brown and those other 2. And then you bring Pritchard off the bench. It's just such a really, really well-constructed roster. And, I read something that was the 6th closest sweep ever. And they won by an average of 6 points, something like that. Those were very competitive games. Obviously, that first one went down to the wire before Brown hit that 3 to send it into overtime. Banged up Pacers team, way over their skis, too young to really be in that position. They had no business being there, but really amazing a run for that group as well. I think everybody kind of expected the Celtics have been the best team all year long, even without Porzingis. Just a lot of experience, and if Tatum and Brown, DK, have been the duo that people have been. This is, I think, their 4th consecutive Eastern Conference Final, something like that. So, yeah, I mean, it's only a matter of time before that group, and this could be the year because, I really like the way Dallas is playing, but that Celtic roster if they get Porzingis back, really, really tough, especially defensively.
A couple of one-year Pac-12 guys in Derek White and Jaylen Brown. Let's hear from Derek White on that big three at the end.
I feel like all my shots felt pretty good in the second half, just wasn't making them, and the one before it felt great, so just stay ready. Shout out to JB, great pass, and I thought I was due for one.
Jaylen Brown got the assist on that play, one of two that he had to go along with his 29 points. You mentioned the departure of Marcus Smart from this team, which was one of the reasons Jaylen Brown felt he needed to step to the forefront in more of a leadership role.
Yeah, we had some guys leave. So I wanted to make sure that that void was filled. Marcus Smart, one of my brothers that got traded, he was one of the voices of our team. And when he wasn't here, I wanted to make sure I stepped in and make sure that everybody felt me and everybody knew what the standard was. And we didn't skip no steps all season. I think we played the right way every single game. I've held everybody accountable, and this is the byproduct.
So the season comes to an end for one TJ McConnell, Arizona basketball class of 2015. He scored 15 points in Game 4, played 25 minutes off the bench, had 7 of 16 shots to go along with 5 rebounds and 4 assists. Again, saw a lot of playing time down the stretch, did TJ, but just not enough for, like you mentioned, this young team to get over the top. Let's hear a few comments from TJ McConnell after the game about this series coming to an end for the Pacers.
I mean, it was fun. It was a great ride, and I know I don't just speak for myself, but kind of getting this franchise back into the playoffs and making a run to the Eastern Conference Finals when not a single person had us going there. It was really fun just to play alongside the group, and in games like that, it's a great feeling.
I don't know if you think this was your best season ever, but among them, certainly. To have a peak or near peak at your age, what did that take, and what did this season mean to you in that way?
I don't know. I try not to focus on stuff like that. Just the team success, really, just getting back to the playoffs. That was the goal for us, and just tried to contribute in any way that I could.
I know we've talked in the past about what Tyrese meant to when he got traded here. What has Miles meant to this franchise as like the one constant through all the years of change, and obviously seeing it break through this year?
I think the respect that he has from every guy 1 through 15 is, it couldn't be higher. He's kind of been one of those guys that, he's been here. He's been through, trade rumors. He's been through rebuilds. He's been through it all. But the professionalism that he's shown throughout, there aren't many like him on and off the court. He's just a true professional on the court, and he's a great human being off the court. So,
I do have a bonus cut, DK.
Bonus cuts?
I do. Last night there was a bit of an incident where TJ was going to the basket.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And Jaylen Brown was making a play on the ball. It was nothing, wasn't trying to cause any kind of harm to TJ. Caught him right in the face. And Jaylen Brown was asked about that play after the game and had some pretty glowing things to say about one TJ McConnell.
Jaylen, can you take us through what happened with the play with TJ?
The play with TJ, where I fouled him?
Yeah.
I was just going for the ball. The game is so fast, just trying to make a play on the ball, and I think I got him in the face a little bit. And, TJ's my guy. I got nothing but respect for TJ McConnell. We talked throughout the year. We talked even before the series, man. TJ is a dog. When I said that some of those guys are turning into Michael Jordan, TJ McConnell is who I was talking about, man. He was like one of the more unstoppable players on that team. So, I didn't mean no harm. I got him in the face a little bit, but rub some dirt on it. Hopefully it'll be all right.
Rub some dirt on it.
Get back in there, TJ. He did. He was out. He was out very briefly, and he was right back in.
Well, and we were talking about Derek White, obviously, and the 1 year that he played for the Colorado Buffaloes and played in 2 games against the Arizona Wildcats, and I think it's the game in the Pac-12 tournament that fans might remember because he put up 31 against Arizona in that particular game. Did Derek? That was the first. I believe that was the quarterfinal game in 2017. The Wildcats won it by 14 points. They would go on to win that Pac-12 tournament, beating Colorado, UCLA, and Oregon. But
that was
Derek White 31 that night in that opener.
That was Lowry Markkinen's only here on campus, and they tied with the Ducks that year in the conference standings, but beat him in the title game.
Yeah. So at least one game where Derek White stood out. He only played in only one regular season game against the Wildcats, scored 7 points, but had the big 31-point performance in the Pac-12 tournament. All right, we're going to have our Desert Diamond Casino replay coming up for you as well. We'll get into some more of the comments regarding Bill Walton's passing. We'll let you hear from Rick Carlisle and what he had to say about his former teammate, Bill Walton, straight ahead. It's DK on the Sports Tip, along with JW Madden. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together, sponsored by Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Irvington and I-19. Irvington on the east side of I-19. Police activity there. Please completely avoid that area of Irvington east of I-19. We've got collisions that are reported Camino Seco and Broadway, Grant Road and First Avenue, and Sandario north of Mile Wide Road. Dodge Boulevard and Aviation Parkway reported vehicle fire. 67 the low, 99 and sunny tomorrow, and 100 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Don't miss your chance to save big this Memorial Day at Lowe's. Buy one, get 50% off select interior and exterior paint and exterior stain via Lowe's gift card rebate. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details. Valid through 5/29.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, summer is our season. And we're kicking it off with a free 12-ounce Island Punch smoothie for National Flip Flop Day. Grab your flip-flops and head to your local cafe on May 29th from 2 to 7 p.m. Terms and conditions apply.
Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Now.
Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Now.
Hey guys, what are you... Gotta take this. Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Now.
Thank you for... Right. You don't say. Now.
Hold it. What's with all the nows? People want to know the best time for an Alaskification. And you're telling them...
Hello? Now.
Well, there's no bad time for an Alaskification, but the best time is now. Pretty soon, Arizona temps are going to put a strain on your AC.
Now is really the best time.
You're not telling people about all the money they save? Now. Or how Alaskan AC will make their AC last longer?
Now.
Or the big 1-year guarantee that their AC will not break down? Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Well, Ron wants to tell you a bunch of stuff. I know. That's kind of what I told him. Okay, thanks. Oh, by the way, now. The best time for an Alaskification is...
now.
Schedule at AlaskanAC.com. Now.
DK on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
Is Charlie Woods the most anticipated, follow in the footsteps child of an athletic Hall of Famer we've ever had? Bronny James, as good as he may be, still has to compete within the parameters of a team sport. Golf is individual. Dale Earnhardt Jr. came along just at the beginning of the social media era. I don't know that there's anybody else.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
Searching HVAC near here.
Right here, ma'am. How can we help?
Wow, nobody local? Huh.
Wait, what? We are an HVAC company literally in your neighborhood. Why is she not seeing us?
Just all the big chains. Well, it is what it is.
What in the... Can you not see us?
Nope, they can't see you. Because you're buried deep in the list of local HVAC providers. You are invisible online. Introducing Cumulus Boost. Get a boost, get found, get on the map. Learn more at cumulusboost.com.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290. Diamondbacks download.
Baseball stuff! Baseball stuff!
It is the World Series rematch for the next 2 days. It's actually less than 24 hours because the Diamondbacks are playing a night game tonight in Texas against the Rangers, and then they're going to turn around and play a day game in this brief 2-game series. Already Diamondbacks up early in the third inning of this game by a score of 2-0, and Pavin Smith has an RBI double in the game. Diamondbacks trying to rebound on what was not a really great weekend against a not-so-good Miami Marlins team. The Marlins went to the postseason last year, but they are not a very good team this year, and they kind of put work on the Diamondbacks this past weekend. Just 19-35 are the Marlins, but they took 2 out of 3, winning 3-0 on Friday, losing 3-2 on Saturday. The Diamondbacks did get 1, but then the Marlins won 3-1 on Sunday. So not a great offensive day, a great offensive series for your Diamondbacks, scoring just 4 runs in 3 games. Afterward, Torey Lovello talking about his team's lack of emotion on Sunday and lack of ability to score runs.
It seemed like it just had the typical energy of that Sunday day game. But my expectations are that we go ahead and push through that, and we find a way to go out and execute at the high level that we consider our standard. I think as you're migrating through the game, we kind of blinked first. We made an error. It was a tough play. But when the margins are that small and when you're grinding the way we are offensively, every little thing matters. So it ends up leading to a bunch of unearned runs, acknowledging that it was a tough play. But we typically don't make mistakes in those scenarios, and that's what I want to focus on, is how can we continue to win those little inches that don't put us in the situation that we ended up in. Blake, for me, was more than efficient. It looked like he was getting a little loose with his stuff. I don't like to clip a starting pitcher that early, but I wanted to handle him with care. He did his job, stepped off the mound, kept us in the game, and then we hit that speed bump in the 7th with those 3 runs. And offensively, we couldn't get anything going. It's causing me a lot of I'm having very curious moments about it. It's causing me a great deal of frustration because our guys are good hitters. They are talented. They are able to walk up with a game plan. They're able to execute that game plan. And when you're walking up there and you're thinking little, big things happen. So we gotta get back to that mindset. And I know we're grinding. We are just definitely grinding offensively. And like I said, I try to come up here and not be tone deaf and say everything's fine, because not. We got to be better.
All right, Brandon Pfaadt is on the mound tonight for the Diamondbacks against Nathan Eovaldi for the Rangers against 2-0 Diamondbacks leading that game in the third. They'll play the second game 11:35 first pitch tomorrow in Fort Worth or in Arlington to wrap up that series before the Diamondbacks head to New York in a 4-game series against the Mets this weekend. All right, wanted to get into a little bit more of the folks and things that are being said about Bill Walton, who passed away over the weekend at the age of 71 from cancer. Dave Pasch talked on ESPN yesterday about what the Pac-12 meant to Bill Walsh and what Bill Walton meant to the Pac-12.
Did he actually say that? I don't think I ever heard that. Did he really call it Conference of Champions? Or was that just a bad dream? He, in a lot of ways, he was the face of the Pac-12. When people thought about the conference, they thought about Bill. And I know he was very upset with UCLA in particular, and then, clearly devastated by the demise of the conference. And, Bill, a lot of times, I think, when he was struggling with something, he often didn't like to talk about it. He didn't like to talk about serious things. So it was hard to have a conversation about that. But actually that night that I mentioned, we had dinner after the game, just the two of us, which was rare because his wife, Lori, a lot of times was there, or friends or producers, but it was just the two of us. And he actually spoke at length about that. And I know that it really hurt him. One of my favorite memories of Bill was just, Bill was so loving. Bill, Richard Jefferson, and I did a UCLA-Arizona game together, and there was a moment of the game where I'm giving Richard grief about, at the time, making $10+ million a year, but sleeping and living on Bill's couch because Richard was basically a Walton. And Sean Miller's the coach at Arizona. Sean gets ejected as we're having this conversation, and Jack Murphy, the associate head coach, is now coaching the game. And Richard goes, yeah, he lived at Bill's house too, and Gilbert Arenas and J.B. Bickerstaff. And, like, here's this whole world that's opening up. And I know it's funny because of, if you've been at Bill's house, there's a teepee in the backyard, there's all these huts and outdoor showers, but I think it speaks to his generosity and his kindness that he just loved people and he just wanted to share himself and his home with whoever wanted to live there.
There you go again. I mean, the connections to University of Arizona run deep. Obviously, Bill Walton's son, Luke, a longtime Wildcat, great, and has gone on, played in the NBA, coached in the NBA. So there's always going to be a connection between the Walton family and the University of Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest go-to story when I want to badmouth the NCAA is about those two guys in college. And the famous story about, Bill had tickets to the NBA Finals, and apparently, as the story goes, he bought some for his gardener, and his gardener could not go. And so, therefore, Luke and Richard Jefferson, who were roommates at the time in college and best friends, went to the NBA Finals game, and Richard Jefferson was suspended by the NCAA for impermissible benefits because a generous father of a college roommate, right? I mean, the idea that, how many fathers of college roommates out there across all of the campuses around America are giving and loving towards their children's roommate in college and new best friend. So, yeah, I mean, that whole story really, is so dumb. But I've only ever heard about him opening up his home and his heart and that kind of thing. He just seems like a very genuine person.
Speaking of tickets, we'll hear tomorrow from Rick Carlisle, the head coach of the Pacers, who had a great story about the first date that he ever had with his wife and how one Bill Walton assisted with that.
It's a good passer
as well. He was a great passer.
Great passer.
Great passer indeed. We're going to end today's show, though, with Roxy Bernstein and his final sign-off to wrap up the Pac-12 network. This was Friday night after the Arizona Wildcats knocked off the Stanford Cardinal. We'll let Roxy take us out for JW Madden and cricket. My name is David Kelly. That's our time for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Chip Hale will join us on the show as we get you ready for Arizona baseball in the NCAA tournament. Have a great night, everybody.
And now, the best thing you will hear all day.
Hachi-machi!
It's time for the Wildcat Radio Replay. In case you missed this earlier in the day, we now bring you the best of 1290. It's made possible by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
Pac-12 Networks began 12. So again, this is the last live event on Pac-12 Network. Pac-12 Networks began 12 years ago. I was one of the first hires and have been with the network since the launch. Tonight, I have the honor and the responsibility to say goodbye, because this is the final broadcast on Pac-12 Network. A different version of the Pac-12 will continue into a new era with the network's live event coverage that concludes tonight. Over the last 12 years, we have put our heart and soul into more than 9,000 live broadcasts. I could not be prouder to be a part of a special collection of people on and off the camera that have worked tirelessly to bring you all of these events. I want to say thank you to my amazing colleagues. Far too many to mention by name. But first and foremost, we need to thank you, the fans. Your passion and energy has always been felt. And without you, none of this would have been possible. And thank you to the student athletes, their families, coaches, support staff, sports information directors, and administrators for all of your help and support along the way. We hope we did justice to your stories that truly made this the Conference of Champions. On a personal level, this league is deep in my heart and soul. As a Bay Area kid, I went to Cal and Stanford games. I grew up on Pac-10 sports. Was introduced to the legendary athletes, teams, traditions, rivalries. Graduating from Cal and getting my first big break when I was 23, becoming the radio voice of Cal basketball. I've been associated with this conference for nearly all my life. Like so many of you out there, it means more to me than I can express. It's been such a privilege to sit in this seat and be a part of it all. It's been a fantastic run, and we've had an absolute blast bringing you these games. As my good friend Bill Walton says, thank you for my life. As we leave you tonight, here's a look back at some of the most memorable moments from the last 12 years.
Hello, and thank you for joining us on a historic day for the Pac-12 Conference. I'm Mike Yam.
And I'm Ashley Adamson. Welcome to our brand new, beautiful, state-of-the-art studios here in San Francisco. We're so thankful you've decided to join us and watch a bit of history in the making right now as we celebrate the launch of the Pac-12 networks.
Beautiful setting, the greatest setting.
It doesn't get much bigger than this.
It is go time.
Not many people get to experience what we get to experience together right now, okay? Not many people in life get to do what we're about to do. That's our stage out there.
There is a performance quality to it. There is a passion into it.
The love is what brings you to the gym and trying to overcome the next obstacle behind the scenes when nobody's watching how you are. Not just in games when the people show up, but every day.
That's what this place is about. It's about being great at whatever you do.
For the win! Oh, they stayed with it, found a way to get this one done. Unbelievable.
There's going to be struggles. There's going to be adversity.
Believing in each other. It's just about believing in each other.
Part of the emotion you saw was a young man who loved his teammates, who loved his college experience, and therefore it's very difficult to see that come to an end.
I like his dream that he'll get to this place, and I mean, not a lot of people really get there. So to be here is mind-boggling.
You just have to appreciate every single day you go to the gym.
Remember, there's only two things that last forever. It's who you become and who you impact. Let's become something greater today, and let's more people today. Let's go get it. Let's come on.
Perfection for the Cardinal.
Come on, Stephanie.
We have definitely got a spectacular affair on our hands tonight. This year of all years, I really believe that anything can happen.
Down goes Locke. Your life is made up of a bunch of moments. Step out on a limb and let this game define who you are.
I just think we're destined to win this thing. It's up another classic. You will not see a better play in college football. Pac-12 champions. Pac-12 tournament champions. Pac-12 champions. Pac-12 champions. Your Pac-12 champions. Pac-12 champions. Win their first Pac-12 title. Pac-12 champions of the Pac-12. Been a lot of fun.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Irvington, east of I-19, police activity. Please avoid the area of Irvington, east of I-19. Dodge Boulevard and Aviation Parkway, that was an earlier vehicle fire. Collisions, Grant Road and First Avenue, and also Camino Seco and Broadway. 67 the low, 99 and sunny tomorrow, and 100 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Get a free pneumatic nailer when you buy a pallet of select Metabo HPT nails. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
They're back. The lot is starting to fill up. The vehicles are back. The incentives are back. And we're welcoming you to come back. See us today at O'Reilly Chevrolet.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Introducing Tanzite Stone Tile Flooring, a game changer in the tile industry. Say goodbye to the trade-off between durability and easy installation with Tanzite's revolutionary indoor-outdoor stone tile. Visit Tanzite.com to see how our tile is installed without concrete or mortar. Instead, our innovative rubber gasket system connects the tiles together. Each tile coming pre-assembled, you simply grab one and place it. No expertise needed. At Tanzite.com, you can see how our foam-back tiles contour to cover any existing floor while insulating against sound and cold. Beautiful and versatile. Tanzite tile adapts to indoor or outdoor use, from kitchens to patios, on concrete basements or wooden decks. All with the durability of stone that's guaranteed for life. Witness this innovative product yourself and order a sample today at Tanzite.com. That's TANZITE.com. We get you so close to McHale, it sounds like the Arizona Pep Band is riding in your back seat.
What the hell is going on?
This is the home of Arizona men's basketball. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
If you need bold banners to boost your business, but you're on a budget, think Staples. Posters, flyers, signs, and menus for less? Think Staples. Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward. Now at Staples, save $50 on your print purchase of $150 or more. Same-day service available on hundreds of items if you order by noon. And all backed by Staples' Print Perfect guarantee. So it's done right or it's printed again free. Staples, your local print and marketing expert. And 6-1, visit staples.com/print for details.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text ORDER to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text ORDER to 42424. That's ORDER to 42424.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
You're listening to the JR Sport Brief.
It is
The JR Sport Brief Show here on the Infinity Sports Network. I'm coming to you live from Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you to everybody tuned in and locked in.